Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class, I start with a slow warm-up and then we begin to become a little more mobile, moving around the mat a bit more, and we end things with a sort of cool down where we slow down our movements until we lay completely flat on our back, where we remain in stillness for about 2 to 3 minutes and give some time for reflection. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. Please don't let your ego get in the way of your practice, meaning we want to sort of turn off that internal commentary that we've got going on and focus on how we feel in our bodies. And other than that, make sure you always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. So today, we're going to need some pillows again. So if you've got yoga blocks, you can use blocks. But if you don't have yoga blocks, then I suggest you grab some pillows. They can be bed pillows, couch pillows. I'd start with 2. So you're gonna start sitting on your mat in a thunderbolt pose. So see how my knees are bent, my feet are folded under me, and I'm sitting on my heels. This is more of an advanced option. We're getting a nice stretch in the thighs and as well as in the knees and even on the ankles and the feet. That's not accessible for everybody. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate our legs, bring our ankles out in line with the knees, and we're gonna prop a pillow between the legs. So I say start with 2. Bring your hips back down and see if you can stay here comfortably for we'll be here for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. You can keep propping pillows up if you need it. Pause the video if you need to take a second. And then you can always remove a pillow and get a little more of a stretch. So it's up to you how much or how little you want to stretch. It's just important that you're comfortable in whichever position that you're choosing. We're all getting a stretch in the thighs and the knees. And once you find that position that works for you, just place your hands on your lap. Gaze gently down towards your mat. And for the next 30 seconds or so, we're just going to focus on our breath. Keep your eyes focused on one spot on the mat. And follow the rise and fall of your chest. Maybe deepening the breath a little bit. Starting to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Resume your normal pattern of breath and lift the chin to look forward. Let's start to roll the shoulders, bringing them up towards the ears and pressing them down the back. Big, exaggerated circles. Loosening up the muscles around the shoulders, the front of the chest. And let's reverse direction, bringing them down and around the front. Settle into stillness. Take your right hand across to your left shoulder. Give a little bit of pressure, lowering that shoulder closer to the floor, and let your head fall over to the opposite side. Now focusing on the muscles in the neck, space where a lot of us hold tension and stress. Just breathe through the stretch. And gently switch sides, so left hand comes across to right shoulder. And lift head through center, hands in our lap. Lift the left arm up to the ceiling, reach through the fingertips, give nice length on the left side of your body. Left ribs reaching high towards the ceiling. Chin lifted from the chest. Lower the left arm down and extend the right up to the ceiling, reaching through the fingertips. Creating space between the ribs. And release, hand to mat. Rock forward into the tabletop position so hands come down to the mat. If you have blocks or pillows underneath your seat, just go ahead and move them out of the way now. And return to tabletop. Knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked under the shoulders, tops of the feet to the mat. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and round the spine into cat pose, tucking the chin to the chest, holding here. Then slowly lift and arch the spine up to the ceiling. Gaze is up, holding here. Return to cat pose, rounding the spine, tucking chin to chest. Lift and arch to cow, arching and lifting. One last time, rounding to cat. Lifting and arching to cow. And then flatten the back into tabletop. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heels in line with hip. Bend the right knee in towards the chest, round the spine, lift the knee high, and step the foot into lunge, ankle below the knee. Not everyone will get the foot where it needs to be, so if you get stuck, grab the foot, place it in between the hands, ankle below the knee. Slowly draw the breath in through the nose as we lift both arms overhead. Nice slow movement, deep in the breath, arms up to ceiling, and hold here as you exhale. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the mat, keeping it from lifting to the ceiling. Lift through the chest, gaze is up. On your next exhale, out through the mouth, bring the fingertips down to mat. Nice, slow, and controlled. Breath in, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Last time, breath in. And breath out. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, keeping the body active before returning to tabletop. Left leg extends, point through the toes, heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, bending the knee in towards the chest, rounding the spine, lifting the knee high, and stepping the foot into a lunge position. Slowly draw the breath in through your nose, both arms overhead, nice and controlled. Exhale, fingertips to mat. Breath in for number 2, arms up. Exhale. Last time, breath in, arms up. And exhale, releasing hands to the mat. Extend left leg behind you, point through the toes, and return to tabletop. Swing your feet out to one side of the mat so hips can come down into a seated position, and then legs extend down the length of the mat. Put a slight bend in the knees, keeping heels on the floor. Send your hips forward and lengthen the spine. Lift both arms overhead and exhale into a fold, dropping belly to the thighs, letting your arms fall down to the floor. Draw the low belly in as you lengthen the spine and rest chest on the thighs. If you're not feeling much sensation in the legs here, you can inch the hips back. Being careful not to lose the length in the spine and the contact of chest to thigh. Take a few more breaths here. Slowly lift the spine upright. Bring the bottoms of the feet together into Badakhanasana, pressing firmly to the pinky edges of the toes, lengthening the spine once again as we open the hips. Relax the shoulders down the back. Take a few deep breaths. Draw the knees together like you're closing a book, feet flat to the mat. Make sure you're seated in the center of your mat if you're not there already. Place your hands on the backs of your thighs, and one vertebrae at a time we'll roll down until we're flat on our back. Once you're flat down on the mat, straighten your legs. Lift your arms overhead. Give me a nice long stretch. Stretch through your fingertips, through your toes. And then release, strong knees in towards the chest. Holding on below the knees, pulling thighs close to body, feet side by side. If you find any discomfort in the knees here, you're more than welcome to hold on to the back of the thighs instead. This stretch is good for our low back, decompressing the vertebrae. Slowly start to rock back and forth. And we're going to rock until we get enough momentum to rock us up into a seated position. Come right back to tabletop on your hands and your knees. Tuck the toes onto the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Press firmly into the pointer finger and the thumb. Preparing for our first down dog. If you're not familiar with down dog, we're going to take it in steps. If you are familiar, you're more than welcome to lift the hips now. For beginners or people new to the pose, you're working with me. Start by lifting the knees off the mat and drawing the belly in. Keeping the knees bent, we're going to send the hips up towards the ceiling. Knees still bent and belly comes back towards my thighs. So key here, number one important thing is keeping a nice long spine in our down dog. We're still pressing firmly into pointer and thumb. Gaze is between the toes. We're breathing here. If you're working on down dog and you're not completely new, you can try straightening one leg and then switching and straightening the other. Noticing if you lose the length in your spine, and if you do, keep the knees bent. Maybe you're working to press both heels to the mat. Again, did you lose the length in your spine? And if you did, keep the knees bent. Even a tiny little bend is okay. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. So we shift the weight forward, we step the right foot up, in between the hands, ankle below knee. You can also manually place the foot there if you need. Step up to half lift, so I'll step my left foot up to meet my right, flatten my back, hands to shins, shoulders draw away from the ears. Lower to forward fold, so I bend my knees, drop my belly back to my thighs, let my arms and head hang heavy, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines until we're in a standing position. Leave your chin tucked to your chest until your spine makes it upright. Give me a nice deep breath, lifting the arms out at your sides and overhead. Then exhaling, lowering the arms back down by your sides. Maybe give me a few shoulder rolls. Put a little movement in your body before we jump into our modified Sun Salutations. Make sure you're standing at the top of your mat if you're not there already. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Stand nice and tall with purpose at the top of your mat. Slowly lift the arms overhead and gaze up to ceiling, Vinyasa. Lower to forward folds, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs, Uttanasana. Rising half lift, flattening the back, Ardha Uttanasana. Then step back into a plank position, planting your hands on the mat and stepping back into plank. Shoulders over wrist. Lower the knees to the mat and uncurl the toes, top of feet to mat. Lean forward for chaturanga until shoulders are out past the wrist. Then bend the elbows into a 90-degree angle, keeping them close to the body, and then roll flat to the mat. Elbows are up to the ceiling and fingertips are underneath the shoulders, legs together. Lift the chest to baby cobra, drawing the belly in, not pressing into the hands. Shoulders wrap behind the heart. Then press to child's, hips to heels, arms extended down the length of the mat, forehead to mat. If you're feeling uncomfortable in the hips or the knees here, rise back to tabletop and lower into puppy, elbows to mat, hands face down, and head relaxed. At any time, you're more than welcome to take puppy instead of child's pose if you're more comfortable in the puppy position. Everyone slowly rise back to a tabletop and tuck your toes onto the mat, preparing for down dog. On your next exhale, hips lift up to the ceiling. It's okay to keep the knees bent, belly back towards thighs, and gaze between the feet. Bring some attention to the hands. Where's the weight distributed? Heavily into the pointer and the thumb. Bring some attention to the feet. We want even weight distribution. Are you having as much weight in your feet as you have your hands? Focus on the breath. Look forward and step your left foot into a lunge position, lifting up to the fingertips. Stepping up to half lift, feet together and back flat, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, arms and head hang heavy, and we rise to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Second time through, arms lift overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flattening the back. Step into a plank position. Lower the knees to tabletop, uncurl the toes. Lean forward for chaturanga, bend the elbows close to body, 90 degrees, then all the way flat. Elbows up to the ceiling as we lift the chest to baby cobra, bellies are active, and we press to child's or our puppy pose position, taking a few breaths of rest here. Slowly rise back to tabletop. Use your exhale to lift the hips into downward facing dog. If you haven't yet, try straightening one leg and then straightening the other if the knees were bent. Even if the legs were straight, you can try bending one knee and the other. Sometimes it's nice to put a little movement into your poses. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, flatten the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, and slowly rise to standing. Taking your time. Last time through, lift the arms overhead, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth into forward fold, belly comes down. Inhale, half lift, flatten the back. Exhale as you step back into plank and lower the knees to tabletop. Take a breath in here. Exhale for chaturanga, leaning forward, bending the elbows flat to belly. Inhale for baby cobra, lifting the chest. Exhale for child's or puppy pose, your choice. Slowly rise to tabletop and exhale the hips into downward facing dog. Deepen the breath. Take at least 2 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Step your left foot into lunge. Step up to half lift as you draw the breath in. Lower to fold as you exhale. And inhale as you rise to standing. Exhaling at the top. Deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out overhead. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. And step the right foot back into lunge. So kick that right foot back, bring the fingertips down to the mat. Left knee is over the ankle. You might need to kick the foot back a few times, that's okay, until you get into alignment. To lift the arms to Anjaneyasana, we've got two options. Option one is to bring your hands to your thighs first, and then extend the arms overhead. Option two is to challenge your balance and lift the arms straight on up towards the ceiling. Pick an option and lift the arms overhead, holding here, breathing deeply into the chest. Seeing if you can sink into the hips a little bit more while you're keeping left knee over ankle. Roll the ball of the right foot, pressing actively out through that heel, keeping right glute nice and active. Open into warrior two, so open up to face the right side of the mat. Right heel lowers down to the floor, arms lower to shoulder height. Left knee is still over the ankle. Hips and shoulders are facing that long edge of your mat. Gaze is out towards your left hand. Again, seeing if you can sink a little deeper into the hips without letting the knee pass the ankle. Left arm lifts to reverse warrior as right arm lowers down. Straightening that forward leg. And bending the knee back into warrior two, arms at shoulder height. Windmill the arms down to lunge, right heel lifts back off the mat. Step into plank and lower the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, bend the elbows, bring your body flat to the mat. Lift the chest to baby cobra and press to your rest pose, child's or puppy, bringing your focus to your breath. Taking note of how you feel in your body. Deepening the breath. Slowly rise to tabletop, tuck toes onto mat, and lift the hips to down dog. Few breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift. Exhale as you lower to fold. Slowly rise up to standing, drawing out the inhale. Exhaling once you make it to the top. Next inhale brings arms overhead. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, rise, half lift. And step your left foot into a lunge position. Lift the arms overhead into Anjaneyasana, straight up or hands to thighs first, your choice, and holding here. Relaxing shoulders away from the ears. Keeping belly active. Open to warrior two, facing the left side of the mat. Left heel comes down, arms at shoulder height. Right knee is tracking towards the pinky edge of the foot. Right arm lifts to reverse warrior. Straighten that forward leg. And return to warrior two, knee bent. Windmill arms down into lunge. Step back into plank and lower knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, coming all the way down. Lifting the chest to baby cobra and pressing to your rest position, puppy or child. Slowly rise to tabletop and lift hips to down dog, up to ceiling. If you've been finding movements in your other down dogs today, I want you to try to hold this last down dog nice and steady. Whether that's legs straight or knees bent, find comfort in the stillness and focus on your breath. In through nose, out through mouth. Look forward and step your left foot into lunge. Inhale as you rise, half lift. Exhale as you lower to fold. And inhale to bring you back to a standing position. Taking your time. Stand nice and tall with purpose at the top of your mat. Just breathing here. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment. If the eyes are closed, try keeping them closed for the next few moments as we lift the arms overhead and lower to fold, belly to thighs. Eyes can still be closed. Just let the head hang heavy. Holding this forward fold, keeping the hips reaching high towards the ceiling as our low belly draws in. Weights in the balls of the feet. Focus on the breath. Keeping the eyes closed as we roll our spines one vertebrae at a time back to a standing position. Take both hands to your heart and bow your chin down towards your chest. Gently open the eyes, lowering arms down by your sides, giving me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead one last time. Exhaling to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift, flatten the back, and step into your plank position. We're going to aim to hold this plank for 10 seconds. I've already started counting. If you're tired, you can lower down now. We're still holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees to the mat and bring your body flat to mat. Turn your head to one side so you're resting on your cheek. Lower arms along your sides, palms face up. Bring toes together, but let the heels fall out. Just let your body relax onto the floor, taking a short rest period here. Eyes can be closed or open. Sort of wiggle your shoulders away from your ears, helping to lengthen the neck. Then gently turn your head to the opposite side, resting on your cheek. Bring your chin to the mat. Place hands underneath your shoulders and press to your rest position, child's or puppy. If you're in child's, we'll try another variation today. Instead of rounded backs or rounded child's, try bringing the hands together, bending the elbows, bringing hands up towards the ceiling. Just opening up the shoulders a bit more. Forehead still resting on the mat. If you're more comfortable in child's with the arms on the mat, you're more than welcome to take that instead. Everyone slowly rise up to a seated position. Swinging your legs down the length of your mat. And placing the backs of your hands on the floor behind the hips. Relaxing shoulders down the back. Find some length in your spine up to the ceiling, flexing through the feet. Then round the spine into rounded back stretch, dropping chin to chest, rounding the spine. Feet stay flexed. And try to draw your breath to the space you feel the most sensation. It's normal to feel a lot of sensation in this pose. A lot of us have really tight muscles around the spine, and the neck, down the back. Nice and slow, begin to uncurl the spine, placing hands on either sides of your hips into staff pose, lengthening the spine to ceiling before relaxing to neutral. Bend your right knee, placing your foot on the mat. Use your left arm to hold onto that bent knee, and we'll open into a spinal twist, twisting from the belly and then the ribs, placing right hand directly behind us, gazing over right shoulder. Spine stays long to the ceiling. Left foot stays flexed. Slowly unwind, returning to center and straightening that leg. Bend the left knee, foot to mat. Right arm holds on this time, twisting from the belly and then the ribs into twist. Gazing to the back of the mat. Slowly unwinding and returning to center, straightening the leg. If you're not already seated in the center of your mat, make your way there now. Bending knees, placing feet to floor. Hands on the back of the thighs, and we'll slowly roll down onto our backs, one vertebrae at a time. And straighten the legs onto the mat. Lift the arms overhead, give me a nice long stretch once again, out through the fingers, out through the toes. And then release, drawing knees in towards chest, giving them a nice squeeze, holding them close to the body. Maybe gently rocking side to side. Hold on to the outer edges of the feet and lift the feet into happy baby. So soles of the feet lift to the ceiling, draw the knees out towards the armpits and lower them closer to the floor, keeping ankles in line with knees. If you feel funny in this pose, just close the eyes and focus on the stretch. Opening the hips, releasing those muscles. Draw the knees back to the center of the body. And place your feet on the mat. Arms down along the mat as well, palms face down. If you can't touch the back of the heels with your fingertips, walk the feet in just a little bit until you can. Bend the elbows, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Pressing into your arms as well as the feet, we'll lift the hips off the mat, keeping knees in line with the ankles, lifting chin from chest, holding here, not holding the breath. Use those arms, don't just rely on the feet. And as you exhale out through the mouth, lower hips down to the floor. Draw knees back in towards your chest, feet side by side, pull them close to the body. Let the knees fall to the right side of the floor and into reclined spinal, placing arms along the floor as well, out at shoulder height, and gently turning your head to the left. Slowly draw the knees back to center. Let them fall over to the left. Head turns to the right. This is our last posture before our final resting pose. If there's any other last movements that you'd like to put in the body, you're more than welcome to go ahead and do that now. Maybe closing the eyes, helping us to get comfortable in our stillness. Let's meet with knees back at the center of the chest, holding them close to our body one last time. Slowly lift your head to meet your knees. Take a nice deep breath in, hold it here at the top. Then exhale out through the mouth, nice and slow, as you release the body to lay flat on the mat, spreading arms and legs nice and wide, palms face up, eyes are closed. Take another deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale out through the mouth, release your body onto the floor. We'll settle in here for our final resting pose. Just keep the focus on the rise and fall of your chest. Let thoughts come and go as they please. Find comfort in yourself. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back into the body. Then gently roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side, perhaps using your arm to support your head. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into a seated position. As always, to finish practice, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we'll add movement to our breath. So as we exhale, we'll round the spine, tucking chin to chest. As we inhale, we'll lift and arch the spine, filling the chest with breath. We'll take that 3 times through. Let's start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have out of the body, round the spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Draw the breath in through the nose, lifting and arching, head lifts to ceiling, drawing breath in, and exhale out through the mouth and spine rounds. Breath in through the nose, lifting and arching, nice slow breath. Exhale out through the mouth, chin to chest. Last time, deepen the breath as much as you can, lifting the chest, breathing in. Exhaling out through the mouth, rounding the spine. Lift back to your comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed or gaze lowered. Give a quick thanks to yourself for your body, for getting you through, for your mind, for its patience. And I'd like to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice. The light within me honors the light within each of you. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the class, got a nice stretch, got to chill out, release some of that stress. If you liked this style, I teach this class every Monday at 8 a.m. If you're looking for something a little more challenging, a little more work in the body, I teach a core yoga class as well, and that's taught every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Don't forget to follow UMBC Rec on Instagram. Try out all of our different videos. We've got lots of stuff to offer. If you prefer YouTube, we've also got a YouTube channel at UMBC Rec TV. I hope to see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your week.